2005, the 125cc AMA Motocross Championship had a little bit of everything. Former champions, seasoned veterans, sophomores, and rookies. The biggest story was what it didn't have. James Stewart. After 3 consecutive years of annihilations, Bubba finally moved up and blew the door wide open for the rest of the field. There were a lot of scenarios in the air. With a field so packed with talent, preseason predictions were the toughest they've ever been. In the end, the fans got what they were hoping to see. New faces on top of the podium. And it all started at round 1 in Sacramento, California. Start of a new season, a new quest to become champion. Everyone had a chance.
I think this year you'll see a few different winners, you know, maybe not quite 6 or so, but at least 3, 4, maybe 5 guys.
Don't leave any doors open. Remember, these guys don't.
And with those words, the gates dropped on the 2005 AMA Motocross Championship. Surprisingly, the number 35 of Josh Grant grabbed the early lead. Promising rookie Mike Alessi made his presence felt with a strong start in Moto 1. But Suzuki's Broc Hepler was a man on a mission as he worked his way through the pack. While Hepler was cruising, Alessi was making rookie mistakes, allowing the veteran Mike Brown to make the pass.
Yeah, that'll bother him a little bit. When you get that sideways and you barely save it, you're like, whew, heart rate goes up a little bit.
Ryan Hughes had a moto he would rather forget as he goes up over the handlebars, not the way he wanted to start his final season.
For Langston, you can tell just by how much mud's all over the front of him. He's been working hard this whole entire race and kind of came up out of nowhere. He got really fast after the halfway point.
Here he comes alongside Mike Brown. Whoa, almost crossed wheels there. Grant Langston trying to put a move on the number 3. Mike Brown does so, gets the spot. He's up into 2nd place behind Broc Hepler. But no one was going to catch Hepler as he ran away from the field in the season opener, taking the checkers in Moto 1 at Hangtown. Moto 2 and a bevy of familiar faces jumped to the front of the pack. Ivan Tedesco, Mike Brown, Grant Langston, Broc Hepler, and Mike Alessi are all fast and fighting for the top spot. Hepler looked like a man on a mission, making passes left and right, moving through the pack. He's making a big move here for 3rd position on Mike Brown, and he's got the spot. Goes around on the inside with a nice little block pass. Hepler heading for the front. Until this mistake drops it back. The race was on, and it was mano a mano between the former champ and the up-and-coming rookie.
This is the story. Grant's already got the overall, if I'm doing my math right. He doesn't need to pass Alessi, but it looks like he wants it.
Well, he's a racer, and racing to first place is what these guys do. Grant Langston comes inside, makes the pass on Mike Alessi, the changing of the guard in this Moto number 2. Langston took the lead, only to fall down, opening the door for Alessi to move back into the top spot. At the white flag, Alessi held a comfortable lead, but the number 8 was not giving up. Big jump over the top. He out-jumps Alessi by 1. Lands right next to him. Going through the right-hander here. He's alongside. This could go right to the wire. Oh, and Langston throws his bike right out from under him. A 2-point takedown on the leader, Mike Alessi. Langston gets going first, taking the checkers and the overall.
I don't know. He came inside and, I don't know what happened. We both went down and, I was 5 feet from being there and maybe not even 5 feet, maybe even closer. And I couldn't do it, And I was totally out. I couldn't do it.
This may have been the first crash Alessi was involved in, but it wasn't the last, and it wouldn't be the most controversial. Round 2 rolled into Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, and of course rain was a factor, but not for Grant Langston, who despite nursing a sore ankle was determined to give it a go. While Mike Alessi hoped the trip east would erase the memories of the last turn crash and 15th place in Moto 2 at Hangtown. Gate drops and Alessi proves his speed is no fluke. Once again he gets a great start and jumps to the early lead. Langston would not be so lucky as he tweaks his ankle in a rut and has to drop out of the race. Broc Hepler makes some noise as he once again is one of the fastest riders on the track, making passes and moving up through the field. But the number 39, Kelly Smith, was not going down without a fight.
Catch 22 right there from Broc. He did a good job back there, but he gave all that momentum to Smith. Lost the position, takes it right back. Broc is a lot more aggressive this year. It didn't seem to be working for him in the indoor series, and he's had some problems with it here in the outdoor, not being patient.
Davey Millsaps puts it together on the muddy track as the Georgia native had a great ride, moving past Andrew Short to take over second place. While Hepler continued moving up, this time getting by 2005 125 Supercross champ Ivan Tedesco.
I think he's going to make this one stick. He's pretty determined. He's just flowing around this racetrack a little bit better. I mean, he just got a little bit impatient early in the race, and he's having to make up for that now, but he is charging forward.
But this race was all about redemption for the rookie. Shaking off the disappointment from Hangtown, Alessi held on to take his first career 125 AMA Moto win. In motocross, moto wins are nice, but it's really all about the overall victory and the ability to put two solid motos together. Mike Alessi strives to be the first rider to repeat his moto winner in the 125 class, but when he looked up, he saw the veteran number 3 privateer machine of Mike Brown standing in the way.
Oh, look at this. Alessi going by both feet off of the pegs, going through those runs. A little Yahoo effect right there. I mean, that was a, here it goes. Maybe like Langston did to him in the last moto at Hangtown.
Right, he knew he had, I guess, the nerve to hold it wide open going down that hill, and he gained a little on the lap before, so all he did was position himself close enough in the corner before that section to be able to make that pass.
Millsaps was following his nice performance in Moto 1 with an equally stellar ride in Moto 2. And by the midway point of the race, he was well on his way to making the overall podium. Out front, it was still a battle between Alessi and Brown. As much as the 800 tried to pull away, he could just not shake the wily veteran. And with 2 laps to go, Alessi concedes the Moto win to attempt to take home second place in the Moto and secure his first career 125 overall victory. All in all, a perfect rebound for the young rider out of California.
Checker flag comes out. History is made. Not only does Mike Brown win another moto, his first event win was back in 1995 in Washougal. KTM, the Red Bull machine of Mike Alessi, wins Mount Morris, Pennsylvania.
Round 3 in the Sand with Southwick. Already this year, there have been 4 different moto winners in 4 races.
For sure, I think this year is the most inconsistent I think I've seen a series so far. You know, people, last year Bubba's winning everything, and this year it's, I think, a different winner of a moto so far almost. I mean, I think being consistent this year is going to be the name to win the championship.
Early on, it looked as though Alessi might be the one, but a hard-charging Tedesco was not going away without a fight. Langston was also making some noise, returning after DNFing in round 2. Kawasaki rider been fast and determined. But the rest of the cream was also rising to the top as Brown, Tedesco, and Hepler all hovered around the top 5.
Moving up through the pack is teammate Grant Langston. Ivan Tedesco just in front of him. Now, any team orders, what do you think as far as, Pro Circuit Kawasaki? Does Mitch Payton say, hey, Grant's our best shot at winning this championship, move over, or is that even the case?
Too early in the season.
Only the third race?
It takes care of itself anyway.
My question has been
back
answered.
like, whoa, where did he come from?
It was Alessi who would be the first multiple Moto winner as he rode a flawless race and took the checkers in Moto 1. Moto 2, and Alessi was looking for his second overall victory in a row. To get to the front, he would have to face his nemesis from round 1, Grant Langston. Tedesco and Langston jumped out early, and it looked like it might be an all-Kawasaki affair. While the front of the pack was breaking away, Alessi crashed his way out of any chance for the overall. Meanwhile, it's the old guys flexing their muscles in Moto 2. Langston, Brown, and Ryan Hughes are all running top 5.
to this. Here he goes, the same place we saw him earlier. On the outside, goes inside of his teammate and does take over position. Ivan Tedesco drops back to second place, and Grant Langston moves into the #1 spot with a dislocated ankle just 3 weeks ago. He missed the second round altogether, no points. Here comes Hughes.
Beautiful move. Jumps right down the inside, puts a pass on Mike Brown. So, you know, we saw these guys battling it out. I said the 30-somethings clear back at Hangtown. These guys are both probably the strongest riders in this class, besides Langston out front. He's just blowing my mind, by the way. He didn't even get to ride practice. Here he is sitting in a position to win the race overall.
But Langston became the second multi-moto winner, taking home the overall win in the process.
And every time I come here, it's always something, and I can't believe I won.
Round 4, a third of the way through the season, and already some trends were being established. The biggest one was parity. After 2 years of James Stewart dominance, this was now anyone's championship to win or to lose.
Here we go, heads into turn #1 and
Mike Brown jumped out to the early lead, proving again that a privateer can compete on the AMA circuit, especially if that privateer is a former AMA 125 motocross champion. But number 51, Andrew Short, was looking to place himself squarely in the championship chase, passed by the number 3 to take over the top spot. And Hepler was emerging from a mini slump to once again show he is one of the fastest riders on the 125 circuit. This mistake took both him and Short out of contention. Opening the door for Browning to cruise to his second moto win of the year. Moto 2, and there was about to be another first-time moto winner, and the 5th rider to win a moto on the season. Josh Grant got one of the best starts of his career and quickly moved to the front of the pack, with a hard-charging Alessi trying to keep pace. Brown, looking for the overall win, made his way toward the front. But no one could catch Grant, who sits comfortably in first. Tedesco and Matt Walker tag teamed their way into the top 5. With the pressure on, Alessi made not one but 2 rookie mistakes, allowing first Tedesco and then Walker and Brown to make it past the struggling rider. Langston also had a day he'd rather forget, as this get-off dropped him back to 19th place, damaging his championship aspirations. Out front, Brown was still in the hunt for the overall, and passing Walker to take third cemented the victory, even as Tedesco was running in second. Grant was taking the checkers for his first career moto win. Clear skies and perfect conditions greeted the riders in Michigan for round 5. And with Mike Brown holding the points lead, the other riders knew they had to make their move soon, or it could become a runaway. Langston once again showed some early speed as he jumped out to the lead with Tedesco, Alessi, and others in tow. Brown started out well, but then started to slide and ended the moto in 10th. Alessi put a nice move on Tedesco, making the pass and eventually finishing the moto in second place. Tedesco drops his bike down, recovering in time to hold on to fifth. And while Alessi had his sights on Langston, the Rook runs out of time as Langston takes the checkers and becomes the first rider to win 3 motos on the year. Moto 2, and the heat was on Brown to come up big as both Tedesco and Langston were breathing down his neck in the points race. Tedesco jumped out to the early lead with Ryan Mills sitting solidly in second. Tedesco went down again, this time handing over the lead to Mills, who takes advantage of the Kawasaki rider's mistake. Brown, meanwhile, made up for his subpar performance in Moto 2 by making the pass on Tedesco to move into fourth. But no one was catching Mills. Try as he might, Alessi pushed hard and had a big get-off, but not quickly enough to salvage a 7th place finish in the moto. Check it out again. Luckily for him, the bike remains running and he can get back into the action. Langston moves into second place to take the overall win. He can't catch the number 37. As Mills became the 6th different moto winner on the year, securing his first career overall podium, a hard-fought second place.
It's unbelievable, the feeling, and that was the longest race of my life, especially with the defending Supercross champ breathing down my neck like that. I mean, a lot of pressure, and I mean, this is my first overall national podium, so I mean, I'm so stoked, and I mean, thanks to everyone who helped me get here, and I'm so glad I finally got the box for him.
Unadilla, round 6, the halfway point of the season, and surprisingly, there still had not been a 1-1 moto sweep in the 125 class. That was about to change.
Hey, you see what it's like on the outside, rocks flying. It's a crapshoot. You never know if you're going down, and it's not always your fault. It's just so many riders trying to get to the same place that's the hairiest part of the race. These guys are all glad to get the first 3 or 4 corners out of the way.
Alessi once again showed his early speed. The man on a mission this day was Broc Hepler. Without a moto win since round 1, the young gun from Suzuki needed to get back in this championship in a big way. And that was what he did.
Look at that, swapping around, and Hepler takes over position. Now we're seeing the Broc Hepler. Look at that sharp radius turn down there at the bottom.
It looks like you can't even stop for it. That hill is so steep going down. And, you know, you're saying, yeah, that's the Hepler we've been waiting for. Actually, that's the Hepler we've been seeing all year. It's just that time he was able to, you know, make an aggressive move and not have it bite him. I think he's starting to find the balance now and ride aggressive and still get the job done.
Moving all the way through the pack, he eventually caught and passed Matt Walker, moving to second, and then set his sights on teammate Davey Millsaps, the leader in Moto 1.
Davey knows he's there, but see, if Hepler stays wide, he'll have the inside in the next corner.
And he does so, takes over position. Broc Hepler, but Millsaps not backing down, but Hepler gives him a little block pass, maybe a little brake check action there.
This is the Hepler that I was watching last year. This is the Hepler that I watched in amateur racing, and smart Hepler running the fastest line, best lines, thinking ahead.
The battle to get into the top 5 was won by Tedesco, while Alessi settled the 6th place finish in Moto 1. But it was Hepler back atop the box in Moto 1 looking for the sweep in Moto 2. With the top points leaders struggling a little bit at the midpoint of the season, now was the time for some other riders to emerge and try to take the lead away from Mike Brown. Langston couldn't step up to the plate as he crashed out of Moto 2, finishing a disappointing 37th.
Like David Bailey talked about, you have a mentor in Ricky Carmichael there. Listen to him. Ricky really didn't have that, and you're seeing Broc Hepler doing everything he can to get by Millsaps.
Navy knows it's coming, but you know, he's not going to roll over. He's going to race for this. This is for the overall. He's just faster. He can go anywhere he wants right now. All he was doing was just trying to make something happen in case Tedesco left the door open. He can go in there for the block pass, but he's patient right now. He's still got his chance.
Does Tedesco try and guard those lines or race his own race?
Too late now.
Two riders that would emerge as serious contenders over the next few rounds were the number 30 Kawasaki of Tedesco and the number 51 Honda of Andrew Short. The momentum they brought out of New York would carry them to the top of the standings. Short and Tedesco go back and forth for second place. Tedesco finally made the pass stick.
Here comes Tedesco now.
But this day was all about the reemergence of Broc Hepler. Pennsylvania native was obviously the fastest rider on the track, and after riding flawlessly in Moto 1, he repeated the feat in Moto 2.
Side saddle for just a minute.
With the series moving back out west for 2 rounds, Colorado was the perfect setting for a changing of the guard atop the point standings. And Ivan Tedesco was there to pounce when Mike Brown faltered. Andrew Short, who grew up near Thunder Valley, also had a coming-out party as he carded his best overall finish of the year. Once again, it looked like Grant Langston was going to make a move up the standings as he took the early lead. But Tedesco was not going to let his teammate get in the way of his first moto victory of the year. He moved by the number 8, taking the top spot and never looked back. Brown continued his mid-season struggles as he tried to find the right setup for his bike. Finishing 7th and 8th is not bad for a privateer. With the championship slipping away, podium finishes were a must. While Brown was struggling, Andrew Short was giving his hometown fans something to cheer about as he cruised by Langston, moving into second and setting himself up for the first overall win. But out front, it was all about Tedesco. He took the checkers for his first moto win of the year, moving up in the point standings and setting his sights on points leader Brown. Moto 2, and Brown's hold on the point lead was tenuous. The gate dropped, and number 3 was not among the leaders as they rounded the first turn. Tedesco and Alessi, on the other hand, got great starts, setting the pace at the front of the pack. Langston had more problems as he went down, remounting near the back. Matt Walker tried to make it into the top 5 as he passed Robert Canary to move up to 6th place. But up front, tensions were running high, even between the mechanics. Alessi and Short Frenchmen got a little testy over the placement of the pit board. But the real battle was out on the track. Short used a nice inside move to get by Alessi and move into second. Hepler also had his sights on the number 800 and easily made the move to grab the final podium position. Out front, Tedesco is making a statement with the 1-1 sweep, taking over the points lead in the process. After 5 rounds of no sweeps, it's now 2 in a row as the championship contenders started rising to the top.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for more. I'm in the points lead and finally got my first win. And it feels great. I just need to keep it on a roll.
The series rolled into Washougal, Washington for round 8 with a new points leader and championship hopes and dreams on the line. Off the start, it looked as though Andrew Short might take his first moto win as he got out to the early lead. But the hard-charging Tedesco had gotten his first taste of victory 1 round earlier. Wasn't about to let Short steal his thunder. Hepler was also back in the mix, passing Kelly Smith, who's just outside the top 5.
Good fight by Kelly Smith to hold on to that position. I thought Hepler had it. He still might. Wow, that's a beautiful piece of riding right there by Broc Hepler.
Out front, Short was feeling the heat from Tedesco, but was able to hold him off with some solid riding. Brown having more problems. His championship aspirations were quickly going down the drain.
Here it is. We talked about heating up front. There you just saw a pass for the lead as Ivan Tedesco has been stalking Andrew Short for the last couple of laps. He's been sizing him up. He knows his lap times have been just a little bit better. Now he's taken the first place spot. Can he pull away?
Hepler was also putting pressure on Short. Late problems dropped to number 60 into 5th while Short held on to 2nd. Tedesco took his 3rd straight moto win, adding his points lead in the process. Moto 2, and it was now or never for a lot of the riders. Short was once again fast out of the gate, taking the early lead and setting the pace out front. This time it was Hepler looking to reel in the number 51 Honda, but Josh Grant was in his way, preventing him from moving into 2nd. Moto 1 winner Tedesco was also on the move, working his way through the pack and looking for the overall win. Short pulling away out front, it was time for the guys to make their move. Hepler was the man with the plan, moving up to 2nd. He caught Short, and it was just a matter of time before he made the pass.
Oh, there it is, the pass for the lead, but Short holds on to it in the right-hander with position on the 2nd of those 2 turns. With Broc Hepler sizing him up, Andrew Short knows he's there now. Here comes the block pass, and just like that, Broc Hepler takes the lead.
And clean, too. That pass, you had to expect him to run in on the inside like that and force the issue, but he didn't touch him.
It's a picture-perfect birthday for the number 60 Suzuki rider as he took the win in Moto 2, securing 3rd overall, while Short had his 2nd straight 2-2 finish. Points leader Tedesco took the overall with a 3rd place finish in Moto 2. Millville, Minnesota, site of round 9, and with just 4 races left, Tedesco was a marked man.
Little bobble on the start there, but the gate hits the ground, and the riders hit turn number 1. It's the usual traffic jam rush hour, and not everybody gets through unscathed.
That's a major pileup.
A first turn pileup claimed a few of the riders, including Broc Hepler, but that didn't prevent Andrew Short from taking the early lead once again. The only question was, would he finally be able to hold on to take his first moto win?
And it's Andrew Short. We're used to seeing great starts from him. And the thing that we have talked about, David Bailey, over the last couple of races, Andrew Short gets great starts and then somehow can't seem to pull it all together. Tommy Hahn coming up to challenge Mike Alessi. Here he comes up alongside in the whoop section. Alessi looks over at him, gives him the quick evil eye. Not good enough to keep Tommy Hahn going by. While Matt Walker was having one of his best races of the year, moving into 4th. Matt Walker first, pulls alongside, little block pass on Ryan Mills. Teammate Tedesco coming up behind him. He's got to look at that and figures maybe he'll try it too. We'll see. Short was a man on a mission. After getting so close the past 2 rounds, he was finally able to put it together from start to finish and easily took the moto win, the first of his career. Now Andrew Short, and the thing that always jumps out at me when you interview a mechanic, they always say it's not over. Look at the huge lead that Andrew Short has. Andrew Short takes the checkered flag, and now his mechanic can relax.
After finally getting into the winner's column in Moto 1, Short was definitely looking for his first overall podium. But it was Alessi with a great start in the early lead.
And yes, it is Mike Alessi on the number 800 bike up front, the KTM. 2nd position, number 18, Brock Sellers on his Yamaha.
There goes Short. Pretty decent start, not like it's been, but look at Alessi. He's already got a good lead. His whole shot was huge. It looked like he took off before everybody else.
Short was patient, though, working his way up through the field and was finally able to make it into second and set his sights on Alessi. Back in 9th position, going pretty deep in the field here. Some side-by-side action and quite a crowd actually on the racetrack. Broc Hepler, involved in 2 spills, has really had a rough day. Hepler once again suffered problems, all but taking him out of the championship hunt. While Broc struggled, Short had become the most consistently fast rider on the circuit. He tackled the Millville whoops with ferocity. Reeled in and passed Alessi to grab away the top spot from the number 800 KTM. Oh, look at this, side by side. Short's going to come up alongside in front of him, and Alessi's going to try to bring it back from the inside. Can't do it. Going up the hill, hard left-hander. Andrew Short has taken the lead, and it looks like he's taken it for good. Langston was the next to move by Alessi. This pass dropped him into 3rd. While Alessi was dropping, Short was cruising all the way to his first career overall. First career 1-1 sweep and into 2nd place in the point standing.
It was a tough race for me. I got off to a slow start that time, but man, it's awesome. It's a great run. I'm really blessed by the Lord, and Honda's been great to me. You know, I'm getting good starts because of him, and I'm a fast bike, and it's pretty awesome to be up there. I never expected it to be as good. First moto was cool, second moto, top.
Rain greeted the riders during practice, leaving the Broom Tioga track waterlogged, muddy, and very slick. By the time the gate was ready to drop, the skies were cleared and the riders were ready to go. Alessi jumped out with the early lead, but crashes were the flavor of the day.
On the inside, Ivan Tedesco and shutting him down on the outside. Well, I guess it paid off for him. Mike Alessi on the KTM.
Look at the mess outside the top 5. Just like I said, it looks like a mud race. They're going to be reaching for tear-off, trying to see. Huge advantage for the riders up front. What a gamble, and it paid off.
Here, Josh Grant takes the header into the banner.
Going down. What happened there? Just tucked the front end over. Josh Grant with that AMSoil Honda has to refire. Going down again. Matt Walker, he just swapped out and he floundered out there.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
It looks hard to be. What are you talking about?
Got this mush out there that's sliding around the top, and underneath that, it's like ice.
Alessi was having no problems with the conditions. The same can't be said for Ryan Mills. Hepler got it together, making it around Short and moving to 3rd. While Short stopped sliding after this pass, holding on to finish 4th. But it's the number 800 of Mike Alessi making it to the top of the box for the first time since round 3 at Southwick.
Go inside, push them wide. You're right, the track is much better for moto number 2, and you see a good start by Alessi.
Moto 2, and it was once again Alessi with the early lead, but off this jump, he cased it in a huge patch of mud, allowing Broc Hepler to get around him and motor into the lead. Back of the leaders, Langston was battling it out with Short. These two went back and forth, with Short eventually getting the best of the Kawasaki rider. Langston followed up his 2nd place in Moto 1 with a somewhat disappointing 7th place in Moto 2. Up front, Hepler was back on top for Moto 2, but it wasn't enough for the overall as Alessi grabs back with a solid 2nd place finish.
Broc Hepler, 15 laps left. That's a darn good thing because it looks like there are only going to be 15 laps in this race. Looks like he may be out of it for the championship. 7th place coming into this, but he's trying to prove to everyone that he is the fastest in the 125cc class. He's definitely proven it here in Moto number 2.
Yeah, it's a bummer not to have the championship in your grasp, but it sure feels good to win motos.
Steel City with just 2 rounds to go and the first chance for Tedesco to clinch the 125 championship. But it would not be easy as the other riders looked to rain on his parade, especially Hepler, who had the home track advantage for this race. Early on, it looked like it was going to be a horrible day for the hometown hero. The 60 slid out early on, but was able to remount, regroup, and put together a furious charge. Moving through the pack like a man on a mission, the riders were dropping like flies as the Suzuki was flying by the other riders, although they were standing still.
Race for fourth right now. Akira Narita.
I like the way he lands there, Robbie. And when he lands on that tabletop, he kind of lets the suspension rebound and he floats down into the next one. It's just those little things that make up the foot here and a foot there and give you the opportunity to make a pass like he just did, looks like.
Good job by the Motorsport Outlet White Brothers MSR Honda of Akira Narita, not able to hold off the factory Makita Suzuki and Broc Hepler. And he lives just down the road, what, about 20 minutes from here. I think he's got more practice time than anyone on the track right now.
He's got more fans than anybody else on this track, that's for sure.
You can hear the crowd get behind him.
Yeah, he knows this track, he knows the lines, he can look at the dirt and go, okay, that's a good spot, that's slick.
Finally catching up to the leader, Hepler made quick work with the number 800, moving into first and never looking back. Back at the leaders, Tedesco was fighting for a fifth place finish. He would have to hold off on the victory celebration for at least another round. Hepler took home his 6th moto win of the year. Moto 2, and Alessi had perfected his starts. He got out early again with a host of riders hot on his tail looking to make a move.
Moto number 2, uphill start, wheeling like crazy Kawasaki pilots, but again, it's the KTM, Red Bull KTM of Mike Alessi.
Hepler rode a much cleaner race this time out, moving into second and then passing the leader to take over the top spot with none of the drama he had to deal with in Moto 1.
He's fast right now. Look at this. He's going to pull up next to him. Alessi looks over and says, I've got you here, but he knows that's going to set him up for a tougher exit. Alessi has Hepler on the inside, swamps around and just fights.
Wow, what a fun. Look at him looking over going, I see it, I see it. I'm not giving it to you.
And he takes over position. Alessi still doesn't back down, but here's that rhythm section. And you know Hepler has it dialed, but look at swapping back and forth as Alessi was outside, now inside. He's keeping it guessing.
Tedesco also had a much better ride, getting on the podium in Moto 2 and taking third overall. Despite this good ride, he was still going into the final round with a chance to lose the championship. The final round of the 125 AMA National Motocross Championship, and it's all up for grabs between Ivan Tedesco and Mike Alessi. With the pressure on, strange things happen, and this race would go down in AMA history as one of the strangest. Moto 1 started out fine, but it would soon become a bar-banging free-for-all with tempers reaching a boiling point. Tedesco's day started out horribly. Running in the Motocross Nationals colors, he suffered a get-off. Then it went from bad to worse as another rider hits his front wheel. This is the worst possible scenario for the points leader as he limped around the track to a 21st place finish, getting no points and making the chase a much closer affair. Up front, it is Langston versus Alessi, and there is no love lost between these two competitors. After a last lap incident in round 1, the two have never been friends, and this is a chance for them to once again do battle. Alessi knew that Tedesco was struggling, and he was determined to win the moto and possibly the championship.
You talked about it before. Oh, again, taking that outside line, railing, hitting that hay bale, and that's going to give a little more advantage to Langston. He's going to be set up outside, but he has a full bike length that just shuts him down. Langston did not give up. He's held out the old teammate, but he's helping out his cause for another overall of the year.
Look, you can just see him. You know, you can see in his body English right now. He's going, I got to win this moto.
He's got to make the pass now, probably. Yes, he does.
Look at this pass, maybe.
It could come down to 1 point, and there's the number 8 sticking in there. He steps up a little bit better, gonna get a better drive on the outside. You know Alessi's not backing off it. Oh, shutting him off the track. Alessi, and now picking it back up again, saying
hey,
hello.
Wait a second.
Now, how can he do that? He missed that whole turn.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think. I don't know. That's not gonna fly. He didn't go around that other turn. Alessi tries to kick him. I do not believe what I'm seeing right now, Robbie.
Get your butt back there. You can't make it an advantage out on the track, and that was an advantage.
Yeah, you know, we're racing hard. You know, we want to win, and I did whatever it took to win, and so did he. And in the back, I don't know. I came in hard to hit him, and he cut the track on the inside. I don't know what they're gonna say.
Moto 2 and the Kawasaki riders definitely had Alessi on their mind as they lined up for the start. Off the start, it was Akali and a KTM out front, but it was Ryan Villapoto and Jeff Alessi setting the early pace, while Mike Alessi and Tedesco were third and fourth. That's when the fireworks started.
Oh, and you hear the crowd going down as Tedesco and Mike Alessi.
Ivan gives him a shove, saying, hey, quit standing on my bike. Go pick up your own.
The championship is right here. Who can pick the bike up first? Tedesco just needs to stay within 10 points of Mike Alessi. Alessi needs to get 10 points on Alessi. Oh, that's not going to happen. Tedesco's
And look
at
Walker. Walker has done a U-turn on the track and come back to help his teammate. He's going, hey, Mike,
why is Mike
make progress? Get your own bike. Leave my teammate alone.
Why
so it looks like Tedesco's
bike, though. He looked like he almost...
He kept his running. That's what I was going to say. He took his time and just kept it running, where Mike was... He hit the panic button there a little bit.
Out front, the rookie Villapoto is throwing his name into the ring as a championship contender for 2006. Finally getting his bike started, Alessi's championship hopes are null and void. His reputation takes another hit. Out front, Langston is ending the season how he started it, winning motos and taking the overall. But this day was all about Tedesco. Despite the craziness, he held on to 11th place, grabbing 10 points and securing the championship. Alessi's day went from bad to worse with his get-off, basically ending his day. But while Kawasaki was celebrating another overall win and the 2005 125 AMA Championship, Alessi was feeling the full force of karma. Tedesco added a 125 outdoor title to go along with his 125 Supercross Championship.
Oh no, I'm actually kind of dizzy. I think I hit my head when Alessi ran into me, but you know, it feels good to be up here. No one ever thought I could have done it when coming into the season. I pulled it off, and you know, today was a crazy day. Alessi was getting dirty, and that second moto, he just pulled a stupid move and took us both out and was trying to, you know, he was standing on my bike and trying to push me over and all kinds of dumb stuff, but I was able to pull it off, so I'm happy.
2005 will go down as one of the more exciting points races in AMA history, but it will also be about the retirement of a star, the emergence of others, and the title run by Ivan Tedesco. Another great chapter in the annals of AMA 125 outdoor motocross.
The all-new Geomax MX34 is the latest result of Dunlop's ongoing development with the help of top motocross pros. The all-new Geomax MX34 is the new industry standard for soft to intermediate terrain. Experience the advantage